All right, didn't have the pre-stream. There. So, welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance. If you're on your YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. Go right into the gameplay. Nope, post-stream. Nope. Where are we? It's because we had Music Mondays going on. There we are. All right. We have the U.S. market data. And if you want to chat, throw your chats in there, comments on this video for what you think is important in the NFT crypto marketplace. We'll just maybe feature on next day's video. Cheers. All right, Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 0.17%. NASDAQ Composite Index is down 0.71%. S&P 500 Index is down 0.32%. Global Dow Real-Time USD is down is up 0.72%. Gold Continuous Contract is up 1.05%. Crude oil is up 0.73%. Europe market data. FTSE 100 up 0.17%. DAX up 0.09%. CAC 40 up 0.14%. FTSE MIB Index up 0.47%. IBEX 35 Index up 0.43%. Stock 600 down 0.06%. The Asian markets. The Asia Dow Index up 0.84%, the Nikkei 225 up 0.15%, the Hang Seng Index up 1.11%, Shanghai Composite Index down 0.19%, S&P BSE Sensex down 0.07%, FTSE Straits up 0.51%, as the 200 benchmark index on S&P is up 1.04%, and the Kospi Index is up 1.07%, right? Asia market. Asia Dow is up 0.84%. Nikkei 225. Oh, did we just? Yeah, sorry. Currencies. Euro up 0.44%. Japanese yen down 0.6%. British pound up 0.44%. Australia dollar up 0.83%. US dollar index down 0.39%. WSJ dollar index down 0.39%. I've been forewarned of continuous sliding on the US currency. Bitcoin USD. $27,375 per BTC, up 1.24%. Ethereum USD up 4% to $1,775. That's kind of like a median range for it, anyways. But yeah, I was forewarned for like something about like USD and securing money in cash flow or something like that, or Nancy Pelosi selling all her stocks off. Scaring people to cash into cash something, and basically goods and services going up in value, so with the dollar not going up, so obtaining less. XRP USD up 9.19%, so congrats on XRP being up almost 10% at 0.51 per XRP. Bitcoin Cash up 1.68%. Litecoin down 0.3%, and Monero down 0.31%. Monero's traceless cryptocurrency transactionalist can't track where it's going from and coming to. And the rates. US 10-year Treasury note is up 0.025. Germany 10-year is up 0.057. Italy 10-year is up 0.062. Spain 10-year is up 0.081. UK 10-year gilt is up 0.091. Japan 10-year government bond is up 0.02. And the futures market. Crude oil up 0.77%. Gold continuous contract up 1.05%. E-mini NASDAQ 100 down 0.88%. E-mini Dow continuous contract down 0.24%. E-mini S&P 500 continuous contract down 0.39%. Silver continuous contract is up 1.3%. So that's in the futures market. I have an article here to begin reading from. So we're going to go into blockchain news, crypto news, NFT news, metaverse news, tech news, finance news, piece of news, and close out the stream for the day. Cointelegraph, China to upgrade national blockchain standards by 2025. Chinese government has been proactively pursuing advancements in its blockchain sector and aims to upgrade its industry development standards by 2025. This is from Savannah Fortes, a reporter for Cointelegraph. Chinese officials have been actively developing its fintech industry with a strong focus on blockchain technology. Despite this the country's stance on cryptocurrencies. On March 28th, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, a watchdog for Chinese fintech industry, said it intends to improve standards for its blockchain technology development by 2025. This information comes from a draft of its guidelines published by the ministry's website, which also calls for public opinion on blockchain development from all walks of life. China plans to have clarification on the level of design for its blockchain and distributed ledger technology standards system by sometime this year, giving the public until April 28th to make any further input on the draft. This development aligns with China's 5-year plan for national economic and social development and Vision 2035 of the People's Republic of China, in which is set it's set a 2025 deadline for certain technological developments. Such developments include digital industries in which blockchain is listed as a target to grow stronger, and the quality of such industries as communications equipment and core electronic components and key software will be improved. In February, China announced plans for a new national blockchain research center. The center aims to connect Chinese universities, developers, and blockchain businesses to research core blockchain technologies to push industry expansion. In September 2022, the Chinese government claimed that the country makes up around 84% of all blockchain applications filed worldwide. However, it was revealed that only 19% of all filed applications received approval. Nonetheless, the Chinese blockchain industry is active. According to a national white paper, China has over 1,400 companies operating in its blockchain industry as of yet. Yeah, so this is China to upgrade national blockchain standards by 2025. So from Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, we have in policy sector from James Rubin, writer reporter for CoinDesk. Binance CEO Zhao calls CFTC suit an incomplete recitation of facts. In a blog post, Changpeng Zhao wrote, the company did not agree with the characterization of many of the issues and touted the exchange's compliance technology. He also wrote that he had only 2 Binance accounts. In a blog post Monday, Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao said that a lawsuit filed earlier in the day contained an incomplete recitation of facts. We do not agree with the characterization of many of the issues alleged in the complaint, Zhao said, also calling the complaint unexpected and disappointing. The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for Northern District of Illinois alleges that Binance operated a derivatives trading operation in the U.S., offering trades for cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin, Ether, ETH, Litecoin, Tether, and Binance BUSD, which the suit referred to as commodities. The suit also alleged that the company, under Zhao's leadership, directed its employees to spoof their locations through use of virtual private networks. Zhao touted the exchange giant's compliance technology, including its Know Your Customer program. He wrote that the exchange had 750 people in its compliance teams, many with poor law enforcement and regulatory agency backgrounds, and noted that the company had 16 licenses and registrations worldwide. According to the CFTC, the exchange, which has a U.S. affiliate, Binance US, created a system to hide its true reach in operations. In a press release, CFTC Chief Counsel Gretchen Lowe called Binance actions willful evasion of U.S. law, pointing to internal chats and emails. Moreover, the suit alleged Binance directed customers in the U.S. to use a variety of methods to evade restrictions on U.S.-based customers. Binance has instructed U.S. customers to evade such controls by using virtual private networks to conceal their true location, the suit alleges. Yeah, I've not heard of that. I mean, why would you even do that? I mean, you can just use Binance without having a VPN. That doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense. The Binance is there for use, so you don't need a VPN. That's illogical. Anyway, that kind of claim, to me, I guess, this just doesn't make any sense. What? Concealer in this blog post, Zhao highlighted Binance's 90-day no trading policy, writing that employees are not allowed to sell a coin within 90 days of their most recent purchases or the reverse. This is to prevent any employees from actively trading. We also prohibit our employees from trading in futures, Zhao wrote. In listing the CEO as a defendant, CFTC alleges that Zhao was the direct or indirect owner of entities that has engaged in proprietary trading activity in the Binance platform, and was likewise the direct or indirect owner of approximately 300 separate Binance accounts that engaged in prop trading on the Binance trading platform. Zhao wrote that He has 2 accounts in Binance, one for his Binance card and the other for his crypto holdings. I eat our own dog food and store my crypto on Binance.com, he wrote, adding that he occasionally converted crypto to pay for personal expenses and or for the card. I ate our own dog food. What does that mean? I think it means something. Whatever that means. Like he just kind of eats off of like a company catering table kind of thing. I don't know. He stores his crypto on Binance.com. To me, it's like Zhao doesn't have any like much control much in Binance or something. I'm not really sure what's going on. Or what's going on in it. What's going on in it. So that's the Binance CEO Zhao calls CFTC suit an incomplete recitation of facts. No, CZ Zhao's fine. He's touring, doing his thing. I have the article twice listed. All right. Reuters Technology, cryptoverse buoyant, Bitcoin's losing its liquidity by Meta Singh and Lisa Pauline Madakal. Bullish Bitcoin has been a surprise winner in the banking blowout, yet investors aiming to amp up their bets face an ominous obstacle, a lack of liquidity that could trigger wild price swings. The price of the number one cryptocurrency has jumped 40% to around $27,700 since March 10th, when its failure of Silicon Valley SVB careered into mainstream markets. On the flip side, though, its liquidity is drying up. What's going on here? Bitcoin's market depth indicates the asset is at its lowest level of liquidity in 10 months, even lower than in the math of FTX collapse in November. According to data provider Kaiko, the market depth of the 2 leading trading pairs of Bitcoin dollar and Bitcoin Tether stands at 5,600 Bitcoin, the equivalent of about 155 million, Kakao said. As a market maker, we try to provide liquidity where we can, but we're facing a difficult situation, said Kevin DePautel, CEO of KeyRock. There is a big network effect here. In the short term, at least, liquidity will remain a challenge. Slippage liquidity measure describing how much prices change between placement and execution of a trade has also increased. Slippage for buying Bitcoin with US dollar on the Coinbase exchange is 2.5 times higher than it was at the start of March, said Connor Ryder, research analyst of Kaiko. The slippage for a simulated 100,000 sell order has doubled in the past month, meaning the average price you get for each Bitcoin is worse than a month ago, Kaiko said. The network effect de Pateau referred to was the collapse of Silvergate Capital and Signature Bank, whose network had long been used by market makers, which expand liquidity by rapidly buying and selling tokens to transact with exchanges. Lower liquidity typically translates to more volatile markets, especially in crypto. Kaiko's writer said this was possibly one factor behind the Bitcoin's leap this month. Crypto compares Bitcoin volatility index spiked to 96 last week, way higher than the average of 52 to 65 it saw last month, as cryptocurrency held its footing despite broader market turmoil. The index is currently hovering around 68. Bitcoin's liquidity worry, the Alameda factor, further crimping liquidity. Binance, the world's most liquid crypto exchanges, ended zero-fee trading for nearly all of its Bitcoin trading pairs last week, hitting market makers' ability to charge higher fees for executing trades on the platform. Liquidity for the Bitcoin Tether pair on Binance has dropped 70% since the announcement, while trading volumes had fallen 90%, according to Kaiko data. The vanishing liquidity can be traced back to the collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX exchange and hedge fund Alameda Research. Alameda was one of the biggest liquidity providers in the crypto industry, and its bankruptcy left void that has been exacerbated by the banking sector turmoil of 2023. While most market participants expect new contenders to gradually emerge to perform the network solutions of Silvergate and Signature, They say complete placement are unlikely to pop up overnight. Until then, the liquidity market participants expect new contenders to gradually emerge and perform the network solution functions of Silvergate signature. They say complete replacements are unlikely to pop up overnight. Until then, liquidity is probably going to get worse and worse, says Joseph Edwards, investment advisor at Sigma Securities. Furthermore, it's not just market maker trouble that's crunching crypto liquidity. Despite Bitcoin's recent rally following a lengthy downturn, many investors are still trading cautiously in the wake of the banking crisis and rising interest rates, some specialists say. Even some players haven't left the place. They are on the sidelines right now because of what's happening with the banking turmoil, Edwards said. So, yeah, basically, clean my glasses there a moment. Scroll back up. All right, yeah. Cryptoverse buoyant. Bitcoin's losing its liquidity. Next article, serve up. The UK Treasury bond drops plans for Royal Mint NFT. The Economic Secretary of the Treasury told Parliament has confirmed the project has been put on the back burner, but we'll keep this proposal under review. This is from Brian Cornby, writer reporter for Cointelegraph. So yeah, the UK Treasury dropped plans for the Royal Mint NFT. The UK Kingdom has shelved plans for launch of a government-backed NFT for Britain, which was initially proposed by crypto-friendly Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, while serving as Chancellor of the Exchequer, the equivalent of chief financial minister. Sunak asked the Royal Mint in April 2022 to create an NFT for Britain as part of the government's ambitions to make the UK a global hub for crypto asset technology and investment. They have a tweet there from the HM Treasury and whatnot, tagging the Royal Mint UK and Rishi Sunak. That has like retweets there, and the project was meant to be launched by summer of 2022, but has ultimately failed to meet the deadline. Asked by the chair of Treasury Select Committee whether there was still a plan for the Royal Mint to issue a non-fungible token on March 27th, Economic Secretary of the Treasury Andrew Griffith noted that in consultation with HM Treasury, the Royal Mint is not proceeding with the launch of a non-fungible token at this time, but will keep this proposal under review. Harriet Baldwin, the chair of Treasury Secretary Select Committee who posed the question in Parliament, was later quoted in March in a March 26 BBC report as saying, "We have not seen a lot of evidence that our constituents should be putting their money in these speculative tokens unless they are prepared to lose all their money." So perhaps that is why the Royal Mint has made this decision in conjunction with the Treasury. She added, the NFT for Britain concept ultimately appears to be quite vague, as the Royal Mint and Treasury haven't elaborated on what the NFTs would do and how they would be used. At the time of the initial announcement, it was simply stated that more details would be announced soon, while opponents of the plan, such as Labour MP and Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves, questioned Sunak's priorities. The country is facing a severe cost of living crisis made worse by the Chancellor's choices. This is his priority right now, hopeless, she said last year. So, UK Treasury drops plans for the Royal Mint as of now. Puts on the back burner. Most definitely. A lot of people are doing that because of economic conditions, just putting things on the back burner. But I get to the point where, like, I'm tired of putting things on the back burner. Just move it forward. Let's go out and do it, and it'll grow and it'll succeed. You gotta do it. Like this right here. This is succeeding. This is cool. And this is how we do succeed at this. So it makes sense that they got to put a back burner and design more protocol what it is. To me, like a royal NFT should be like backed by gold or something. So to me, it's like a bond to the royal family, and it's like something that's like worth a bunch. And I don't know, traded in some like NFT type government bond marketplace that's NFT based. I don't know, some shit where you can go get your gold out of a vault or something with your NFT. That's kind of like what that type of NFT would like mean to me. Anyways, but this NFT right here this is like the access to Avenged Sevenfold. So you can get to the Avenged Sevenfold tour with NFTs. So Ticketmaster, which is a multi-million-dollar company, test the NFT-enabled pre-sales with Avenged Sevenfold tour. So this is from Billboard.com. Members of the band's NFT fan club will get first access to tickets through a new token-gated integration with Ticketmaster. This is by Benjamin James, writer-reporter for Billboard. Ticketmaster has rolled out crypto wallet integration for Avenged Sevenfold's upcoming tour, allowing NFT holders from the heavy metal band's fan club, Death Bats Club, to get priority access to tickets and preserve seating with no queues. Fans have already used the feature to purchase tickets for events at New York's Madison Square Garden and Forum in Los Angeles ahead of in general public. Now the initiative, well, I mean, I think it's cool too because you get to collect like this artwork and the piece of NFT that's in your wallet, unless it gets burned for the ticket or something like that. But maybe get some sort of POAP memorabilia attached to it, proof of attendance pass, type NFT. Now the initiative will now go live for the rest of the dates available on Ticketmaster. We have integrated Death Bats Club into Ticketmaster, confirmed singer Matt Sanders on Twitter, assuring that fans get the best tickets at the best prices without bots, scalpers, and long wait times. Shadows was instrumental in pushing the Ticketmaster integration forward and has been an early advocate for NFTs in Web3. The band launched the Death Cats Club in 2021, a collection of 10,000 NFTs with unique visual traits that unlock real-life perks such as care packages, meet and greet opportunities, and now early access ticketing. Ticketmaster has already issued more than 5 million NFTs as commemorative tokens for major events, including the Super Bowl, but this is the first token-gated integration for purchasing tickets directly. Currently, it is a pilot program, but may roll out to more artists based on demand. Avenged Sevenfold use the capability to offer first access to tickets, but there are a variety of ways it can be used by artists in the future, said David Marcus, Ticketmaster's executive VP of global music, in a statement. From unlocking premiere seats to special experiences like sitting on soundcheck. Ticketmaster's token-gated sales are currently compatible with tokens minted on Ethereum and stored in dApp wallets such as MetaMask or Coinbase. Token-gated ticket sales are available as part of our expanding Web3 services and other features to help artists set their own terms in on how tickets get to fans, said Marcus. Any artists who are minting their own NFTs or partnering with other independent community can explore with token-gated ticketing now. So yeah, this marks the mainstream Web3 wall integration after Spotify recently launched token-gated playlists as a pilot feature with several NFT projects, including Kingship and Overlord. Holders can connect their wallet and listen to exclusive playlists curated by their communities. And the Web3 fan club model, such as Death Bats Club with Avenged Sevenfold and with this Ticketmaster integration, has emerged as a resilient use case for blockchain technology, even as the hype around NFT trading fades. Artists such as the Chainsmokers, Steve Aoki in Portugal, The Man have founded token-gated communities as a way to engage more closely with the biggest fans and deliver exclusive perks and content. For example, Chainsmokers host a Discord community open only to NFT holders where the duo regularly talk directly with their fans and offer meet and greet exclusives. Steve Aoki launched his Aokiverse NFT club with 6 different levels of ownership, offering discounts and backstage access. Santa Gold, Taicho, and Segura Ross have all launched free Web3 fan clubs using a white label tech platform called Medallion, where fans get first access to exclusive content. This is so from Billboard right here. Ticketmaster tests NFT-enabled pre-sales with Avenged Sevenfold. And I think it'll go well because Avenged Sevenfold is awesome, if you ask me. What's up, Memetic? Memetic Money Theory. What's going on? If you want to jump up here to speaker. All right, I got the next article serving up. I'm just reading and streaming on YouTube right now. In your chat, you can put your chats on YouTube or the Twitter. Jump into space. Otherwise, I'm just reading an article live on YouTube, and these videos roll out. Actually, did I pin at the top? Yeah, there's one pin at the top. The last 101 episode's pinned at the top. There. Otherwise, yeah, the next article I have here is from CoinDesk. What's up, Memetic?
What's up, guys? Just tuning in, catching the latest.
Cool. Yeah, I got Disney layoffs on the Metaverse team report. So 50 people have lost their jobs at as Disney disbands its next generation storytelling to consumers. What's going on there? All right. Consumers experienced unit as a part of company-wide staff reduction. But yeah, what you got going on about Memetic? Anything important you think's going on in the news? Anything noteworthy?
The finance thing's a pretty big deal.
Just read that before you were right up on here. Just read about
Yeah,
the CZ
they
yeah.
get shut down. That's going to do crazy stuff to the price.
You think it'll get shut down?
Maybe. CTC's got a lot of power, a lot of pull.
Um, yeah, just throw some fines and stuff. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the claims are like weird because like they're saying like, oh, like they told U.S. people to go with a VPN to do trading, which I never experienced that. I mean, like, I actually had my accounts for like many years with Binance, and like never once did like anyone tell me to go use like a VPN. It's common knowledge you can go access like Chinese like utilities and like companies and stuff with a VPN or like other countries. I mean, that's obvious, but like uh I don't know, whatever. I think it doesn't make any sense also because like they have Binance US, so it doesn't make any sense. You can already use Binance US. You don't need a VPN at all. So I don't know. There's
Yeah,
just a lot of
I don't like
a
the
lot of weird
accusations.
claims. Yeah, a lot of weird claims and
Yeah,
accusations, and I just like am just gonna sit here and think that Binance is actually a blockchain at the end of the day. So it is kind of like sort of like it's basically kind of it is decentralized in nature that you can build upon it in its own right, like to Ethereum and run decentralized applications and protocols. So I don't know. I think it just is what it is, and Binance Chain is just going to keep operating and doing what it does.
it is. I think it's very likely CZ was insider trading. But that aside, it seems super coordinated by the SEC. I mean, they went after Kraken. Coinbase just got a Wells notice, and a Wells notice means intent to prosecute. Now you got Binance. I mean, they're going through every single off ramp and on ramp to crypto. That part I
Do,
find kind of weird.
do you have a theory of why that might be that you think about?
It's not a sexy one. It's they want to tax it. They want to make it all security so they can regulate it and get a ton of tax revenue.
Um,
That's what I think.
well, I mean, like shutting it down won't help. That's not going to help tax it. They're going to throw fines at it. I think they're just going to fine all the companies and then just like move on.
I think they're trying to regulate the on ramp. They've already said Bitcoin's a commodity. Who knows if Ethereum is a security, but they want to regulate the in and out USDC stablecoin side of things. Because then they get 30% capital gains on all profit.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if I take all my cash, my US dollar cash, um, is that saying that like, you know, I don't know, like I guess like
It's your cash. You can
yeah,
go, you can YOLO it on GMC, and the government's got no problem with YOLOing GameStop, but you got to pay them 30% on your profits.
yeah, for trading and trading in the marketplaces. But
Yeah,
art's a different thing. Unless
well, you're
art's
supposed
rolled
to
up
pay
into
taxes on that too.
unless art's rolled up into commodities. I don't know if you make gains on art as an art dealer, or I mean if it's an art broker. I don't know how that goes. That must have its own stipulations of tax rates or something. Because
No, capital gains is on all assets.
yeah. Well,
That's why
I'm
we're
just
such
saying
a
like
big money laundering spot.
I just don't know what the capital gains tax is in the art sector.
30%.
Is it 30%? Because it's like
Yeah,
commodities.
yeah, capital gains applies on any capital gain. Doesn't matter on how you get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just give your art away for free. Live off the royalties.
Well, you're only good artist. I can't do that. Nomadic doesn't have any art skills.
Yeah. That's why you gotta make shitty art like Gary V and then hit the road touring. I don't know.
Touche.
But well, actually, he sold his art. So is he paying capital gains tax? What's he doing? I think he
He
sold.
should be.
I thought those were like paid NFTs or something to mint those. I don't know. I don't know how that went. Anyways. I mean, at least with Yeatcoin, there's like a initial offering placements with the SEC through its company. Well, it's got Form D exemption filing for first 800,000 going off the bat, and we'll expand from there and just pay its filing fees accordingly under Form D exemption for its tokenization structure.
And what are they tokenizing?
Just their utilities in the ecosystem, access to the brand IP of merchandise, energy drinks, food supplementation brand under the brand that's launching, and the access to mint the KinToshi. Bitcoin has 2.1 quadrillion satoshis, and Yeatcoin ecosystem has attached to its Web3 gamification. With the first game is rolling out this week, and the next game after. Moving forward with scaling games, actually any dev can build in the ecosystem games with the KinToshi tokens. There's 2.1 quadrillion KinToshi tokens that are burning and used in Web3 games, and is bridged via the proof of Yeet. And in the proof of Yeet,
so it's a layer 2 on Ethereum.
It's on Binance Smart Chain.
Got it.
So the proof of Yeet is the bonding bridge that's burning down until it's completely burned, fully gone, which until and then the next, which was going to take like many years. This is like the bonding bridge from the KinToshi for gamification, for GameFi, over into Yeatcoin, because Yeatcoin's deflationary. So to keep it as not hyper deflationary, from burning too fast, basically it has a steady burn rate. So, but if it was used in GameFi, like the extent in its own ecosystem, it would probably have hyper burning to it. So just have keep it as a steady burn rate, but it's an access to its brand IP and its artworks and NFT launchings, and connection with entertainment, and yeah, it's brand for NFT, and also provisions in like metaverse events and prospects like that, along with a Blue Chip Club, but because Blue Chip Club is kind of doing stuff in metaverse things. But yeah, Yeatcoin's burning down to 21 million from 21 trillion over probably the next amount of years it's going to take for Bitcoin, along with its halving. Going to be like 130 years to mine the rest of Bitcoin with this next halving in 2024, and so that creates more scarcity and up range of producing Bitcoin compared to what's being collected, and with the difficulty level. And while like Yeatcoin's actually deflationary, where it's actually burning down to 21 million until its renouncement, and it'll take like about 130 years or so as well from where we're talking right now. But yeah, Bitcoin Cool also is got its inscription, so I love the aspect of utility with Bitcoin. Is it enough to keep Bitcoin like afloat halfway going the next few years? I don't know. I mean, I think Bitcoin could maybe drop, and Ethereum could drop, or crypto may drop, and all these like regulations scaring people away. I've been here from like the other like push of regulations in the space, and just I don't know, it just is what it is. They're just doing what they need to do, I guess, and just kind of I don't know, I feel like maybe it's just one of those things where they just find, I'm not sure how many times, like things like Goldman Sachs and like Berkshire Hathaways and I don't know, like SVB bank, the FTX collapse. I mean, but like but also see like the Coinbase, maybe I think they've been fined before, I'm not really sure. Then you got like Binance being fined. They'll just probably just pay their fine, or I don't know, like just move on. So I don't know. It just seems like one of those things that the government, I mean, China, I just read, earlier also on the stream that China just launched their new provisions and structure for their blockchain and their whole like economy within their own blockchain attached to their Chinese cryptocurrency for their whole ecosystem of how things are going to roll for the Chinese Republic, and is a republic, or I mean a communist party. I'm not sure what it is. To function and thrive within their own society like that. So I don't know. It just I think these people are just gonna take their fines and move on. But A lot of projects right now are just kind of like going to be scared off, and I think a lot of projects right now building are going to be shaken off and like just gone. And the ones that will just keep building and keep um, doing their thing, paying their taxes, doing their whatever they need to do um, to be left alone, will just run their need to do and pay their taxes. That's all. So, all right, I guess we got Disney began developing the metaverse strategy in their metaverse in mid 2022 and announced that Polygon has been picked as Disney's blockchain of choice. They appeared, I mean, but the only problem is like it takes like like 2 hours to ramp your Ethereum cryptocurrency. So then you got to go buy cryptocurrency, sign up for an exchange. That takes about like better half an hour. Get your banking information, and then you got to go buy some crypto and still like the modern person like going to Disney or doing a Disney thing is like do all this on ramping to then bridge and take 2 hours to bridge and find the bridge of Polygon, some link somewhere that to like function on a Disney metaverse. Polygon's not the best choice, I don't think. Um, but anyways, Disney appeared to ramp up its resource deployment, and because they should, this is why they should build on something like Binance Chain or just they have something like Ethereum scaling with Shanghai. We'll have to see how that goes for the network. That's maybe why they're shelving. These projects are like shelving a lot of things. They're waiting for Ethereum to upgrade and scale its network itself and its proof of stake model to more efficiency and as a Shanghai upgrade seems to entail. I'll read about it on a future stream in time. I'll bring that article info up. But yeah, any feedbacks or any what else is go up in the markets? Memetic. Think they'll just? Do you think they'll just take their fine and SEC will leave them alone, or what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, who knows what CZ's going to do? I wish I knew. I think more broadly right now, crypto is pretty correlated with just U.S. equities. We're kind of in one of those cycles, and I think all eyes are on the Fed and what's going to happen there that's going to drive crypto action. That's my personal opinion.
How about the U.S. dollar itself? Anything on that?
It's the same argument. Like
Yeah.
dollar strength is going to be determined by what Powell does with rates. It's certainly not good with China and Russia getting together. That's going to put a horrible strain on the US dollar.
But are they building a cryptocurrency? Why I keep hearing that? I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think they're building a currency, but I've heard they're.
Are they backing something with gold? Something?
Or just their own currency. It's China agreeing to directly buy Russian oil and pay in Chinese yuan.
Oh yeah, there's that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I thought the yuan is like a. I thought they're moving it to a cryptocurrency. I don't know. That's just my freaking understanding. This whole blockchain thing is.
Yeah, I mean they've got a CBDC that's active and they use it. Yeah. Probably not in good ways with their social credit score.
Well, there's other talk of something about like a G7 level making a global type cryptocurrency, but that seems so far fetched right off the bat. It could be something of topic maybe that's being brought up, but I'm not sure how far out that could be, like a reserve thing of how that could ever really be a thing that Bitcoin's already trying to do itself.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, that's what Bitcoin is. U.S. Fed has been pretty adamant they don't see any value in CBDCs. And I think they set the pace for the rest of the central banks on Earth. But that's what Bitcoin does. I agree.
Well, Disney had like a, what they were developing, they just laid off people. So that doesn't help the economy when you lose your job for the US dollar. Because then you have no US dollars to spend on the economy. And that's why further things like the companies aren't being able to sell things that they need to sell and they need to hike up their rates. So that's why, like, for me, it makes sense to just own your own chickens, own your own cow type deal. Milk it, produce what you need to produce, make a business for yourself out of it if you want to even. But otherwise, like, just having that economy for yourself makes more sense to survive than going to buy $9 eggs at a store. That doesn't make any sense. But producing on a local level can maybe offset and help on that and type of economy. But yeah, otherwise, it's more, sense-wise to just purchase our own right to feed and things like that, and produce our own, grains and as best we can, and like whatever wet level or something to feed your own chicken, I guess. I don't know. I think the government's to steer people to doing that more. I think people like really actually in like a lot of other economies who are still like, great devs and great people and build a lot of things in work and stuff like that, for the banking industry. They'll still go home and they'll have chickens running around their yards and everything like that in the nature, and like kind of places like Vietnam and stuff like that. So I think other economies like have have headwinds into their own struggles actually, because they have a lot of tsunamis over there. But
I think the next big tsunami for us that nobody's talking about now is the debt ceiling. And nobody's talking about this. Powell and them think they can just easily march right on, and Yellen's going to raise the limit. But if that catches us with our pants down, that could be like another black swan event in the market.
yeah, I mean, do you think people in the next like 100 years? That's my thought. In the next 100 years, how will people be transacting? Will we really want to have like some like a um this if we're still digital in a digital age in 100 years, or even close, even like in the next 10 years, if we're still so digitally wrapped up into what we're doing and how we're transacting and stuff, if we really think we need to keep doing it that way, with this massive like intensive like energy production of everything we do, then in technology and advancements, and becoming while trying to be more sustainable about it as well, then um, maybe somewhere along the line the economy's going to pick up somewhere, and how much struggle is going to have to go through until something can be solved, especially with in how can the debt ceiling be resolved. I mean, now like we're talking like things like, oh well, AI can replace jobs, AI can do human jobs, so people aren't like trying to go out there and have to like bust their ass to work. But how can they adjust? Can the government provide monies on an economic level to be more self-sustainable, to people like, I don't know, like do it do it in a different way, do it in a different way
The
than we're doing.
economy is cranking right now. This
Yeah.
is the Fed's problem. The economy is super hot. We're talking about GDP this year of 3% increase, which nobody forecasted. I mean, that's why he's raising rates. He's trying to stop people from consuming. And the American economy is saying, F you, I'm going to keep consuming.
Yeah, I don't I think I think I think it's okay to like put yourself at a certain place of like what you do consume and information, and if and have like tools for yourself to utilize for what you do, and what you strive to succeed at. I mean, like at the end of the day, like take a stick and dig in the dirt if you have to plant your seeds. But at the same time, like, it's okay to go and support the person who carved and who carved a stick, who collected all the limbs from trees and spent his hours doing that, who then supported the iron worker down the road, who created the rake head from the guy who mined the ore out of the rock. So there's an economic level where, yeah, I mean, it's okay to support. It's okay to support, because the guy who's growing the food in the ground is being he's supporting the iron worker who's buying, with the different, the gold, also the gold or something like that. Like he's also mining like silver, I don't know, whatever they're doing. He's getting ore and trading it for silver and gold, and the silver's going to the guy who's got the food. So it's all an economic circle. And buy
Yeah,
the tool,
that part's killer.
buy the tool from the guy, because it's
You've
all
seen
going back
unemployment numbers,
around
right?
anyway.
Yeah,
So it's, what's up?
like you've seen those people are doing great. Unemployment numbers are all time low
I mean, don't
in
buy
our
10 rake
lifetimes.
heads. Like, you don't need 10 rake heads. And I think if that's what people are talking about, like, oh, the new rake head that has an extra, like, tooth on it now, guys, we got to go get that one. Um, and I just think, like, that's why crypto struggles. If you apply what I just aspected to, like, every single cryptocurrency, people are jumping from crypto to crypto to crypto, and they don't, and then they all, like, and then each one just gives up because everyone leaves from crypto, their crypto, or NFT to NFT to NFT hopping, and they don't know which direction they're going because they're all flipping and trading and stuff because that's how half of it is. But there are people who are actually trying to participate in the economy of things, and that's why I say in the next 10 years, what will be how people transact? Will they be kind of like locked in on like I'm telling you right now, for example, like it's actually like already kind of there. You can see it in Yuga Labs and you can see it in BASI that they onboarded a lot of people and they locked a lot of people in through an aspect of art with utility and technology and how people are niche transacting and people are dumping like massive amounts of bases recently for whatever reason on this blur wash trade at a loss to get this blur thing or I don't know, just not great trading or something. And then like rugging some projects and something. I don't know. It's all like a big mess in the NFTs and things right now. It's a big topic of discussion. But at the end of the day, Basie doesn't and Yuga Labs doesn't care because what are they? They're a billion-dollar IP brand that functions as a company. And just like Yeetcoin sitting up here as a company operating, and they're both companies operating as S corps, and they're just doing their thing and paying their fees for the trademarks and paying their taxes on things and doing their brand IP for like clothing or whatever it is, and an immersion and entertainment. So when you see Yuga Labs doing that, they have their Yuga Labs token. Everyone who participated in that economy, they're living off that economy. My friends, I sat there. I watched CryptoPunks. I watched Basie. I watched CryptoPunks at 0.04 ETH. I just watched it as art, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was more interested in Gods Unchained and things like that, like an actual game that plays and does stuff. Or even like the Crypto Kitties, but I didn't do the Crypto Kitties gening or anything. But at that time, I saw the CryptoPunks there sitting there at 0.04 ETH back in the day. But it is what it is. People bought them. People bought them. I sat there and looked, and people told me about, do you want to mint some bases? No, I'm good. I'm playing PUBG Mobile. Do my partner thing with Twitch and crap like that. I'm building on this or that. But it doesn't matter because Basie, for example, is now just recently has like 7,000 people in its metaverse and its gamification. And I think they're just going to do their 3D. I speculate maybe eventually they'll have like a 3D immersion speculative of like 3D ape of each ape you have, and it's like droppable in the metaverse that they're building through their Yuga Labs metaverse other side deed lands. And they just had the 7,000 people show up this past week, and they had a fun time. And it was really great and worked out. So, and skinning things out, Sony, talking about cross NFT gamification skins across different games and their products and stuff. That makes sense to me that it's all going to be kind of rolled up into just a good value of what we are transacting in. People right now, like I'm saying, on an economic level, they're living off of ApeCoin right now. They have it staked with they economically, like they're fine. Like they're like yeah, unless they live some like crazy lifestyle and they're like, I should go live like a crazy lifestyle. But if you didn't change anything, you still raised your chickens and you still grew your food and you had like minted like 10 bases and got on all those airdrops like ApeCoin and then all the other things you got with it. Now everything they're still doing and growing with and in merch and stuff, you're living on, you got clothing, you're clothed, fed, and fine digitally and economically for the years to come. And I think the people who are understanding like what's happening with like, oh, I can only take out like $10,000 out of my bank from my government's money now. Like there's restrictions. Like everyone's like, oh, I should go take my cash out in like chunks, like 10,000 a week now or whatever, or how much ever I can, and start putting it into something. You know, can you trust Bitcoin? I don't know. There's a million Bitcoin in one wallet. What if that just wanted to dump someday? What if it moved? I think that's another big thing. Who is Bitcoin? But it is what it is. I think either way, we're transacting how we're transacting. Say that once more. Sorry, had the mic muted. Someone's asked me a question.
I was just saying in your question, what are we going to be transacting at in 100 years? And my hope is that we still have some form of cash. Because that's really what Satoshi wanted to do with Bitcoin, right? Was a peer-to-peer electronic cash.
Yeah. That for me, I like to collect gold and silver. I mean, that's interesting to me.
It's good as a hedge. It's not great for transacting.
Well, I'm all about that apocalypse money, man.
So you think an apocalypse will happen?
No, I don't know. I mean, do I think like governments will change over 100 years? Yeah, I don't know. The U.S. government's very new.
I mean, I see gold as a hedge, just being candid. I mean, if you want to hedge against an apocalypse, it's good.
That's
We
the only
haven't
thing I
had
can
it.
think of. That's the only thing I could think of why, like, if you really want to get down to it, and like, I lose power, and like, I can't take money out of a bank, and the only motherfucker up the road has something to sell to me that he won't otherwise sell me unless I have some silver or gold, and like a winter apocalypse or some shit, like when we all lose our money, like we can't do anything because digital is nothing. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the worst case scenario I can think of. That's all. Otherwise, it's just shiny. It's shiny. It's to collect, and it's scarce. It's scarce like Bitcoin. It's scarce like certain protocols that people like jump around and like whatever they're doing. Like there's only 10,000 bases, things like that.
Again, not being argumentative, but I think in that case, you're going to want beans and bullets.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
that's what sells,
Yeah.
not gold. Food, fuel, and
Well, because then people with the beans and bullets are just gonna be taking the people's gold. Like I don't know. Yeah, because
we're taking their beans and bullets.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups in the U.S. who are heavily armed. They got their groups and they're all armed up. Whatever, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
I'll be back.
Cheers, mate. Have a good, safe day at work, man. I'm gonna
Don't be
go
safe.
on. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. And go on with readings. India Express ChatGPT plugins decoded why you should get on the wait list in India Express. OpenAI recently announced that it is endowing ChatGPT with the ability to browse the internet. Plugins are going to make the chatbot more efficient and dynamic. OpenAI, in its analogy, has called plugins the eyes and ears of ChatGPT. With plugins, ChatGPT will help users perform a variety of tasks expressed here in ChatGPT logo image right there. Artificial intelligence is taking over every aspect of online experience. Last week, billionaire philanthropist Bill Gates shared his thoughts on the immense potential of AI to reduce some of the worst inequities. He went on to list how AI will revolutionize healthcare, education, and various other domains. In his blog, a day later, OpenAI announced that it was endowing its AI chatbot with the ability to harness the power of the internet. ChatGPT, launched in November 2022, quickly became a phenomenon owing to its comprehensive and humanish and response to prompts. This has also made it the most used application in the shortest span of time in the history of the internet. The power of the internet has been facilitated via a set of plugins that were introduced by OpenAI on March 23rd. The San Francisco-based company stated that it has gradually begun rolling out plugins for ChatGPT in line with its iterative deployment philosophy. This, according to the company, was to assess the real-world use, impact, and safety alignment challenges faced by the sensational chatbot. According to the company, users have been looking forward to plugins since the chatbot was launched, and developers have been experimenting to unlock the wide range of possible use cases of the chatbot. As of now, OpenAI has been given access to a small set of users. However, the company has plans to roll out widely in the coming months. Moreover, OpenAI has said that plugin developers for its waitlist can use its documentation to build plugins for ChatGPT. The first set of plugins has been created by companies such as Instacart, Milo, OpenTable, Shopify, Slack Speak, Zapier, Wolfram, Expedia, Fiscal Note, Klarna, and Kayak. Plugins on ChatGPT, and what does it mean? Until now, ChatGPT largely failed when it came to solving complex mathematical problems, and that because the controversial chatbot was essentially a language model. However, that it is about to change now, as OpenAI has not only announced a set of proprietary plugins, but also the inclusion of third-party plugins. The new set of plugins will let ChatGPT browse the internet and come up with relevant responses. However, it does not end there. With access to the internet, ChatGPT will let users do shopping, book tickets, and even more. Reportedly, OpenAI is introduced an online plugin store such as Google Play and iTunes that will let users purchase third-party plugins. In essence, plugins will enable a person to share their to-do list with ChatGPT as a prompt, and the bot in turn will automate the task. It will assist in the decision-making and execution of the task While explaining the advantage of plugins, OpenAI OpenAI alluded to them as eyes and ears for the ChatGPT. Though not a perfect analogy, plugins can be eyes and ears for language models, giving them access to information that is too recent, too personal, or too specific to be included in the training data. In response to a user's illicit request, plugins can also enable language models to perform safe, constrained actions on their behalf, increasing the usefulness of the system overall, explained OpenAI in its blog. And how do ChatGPT plugins work? According to OpenAI, plugins will help ChatGPT in tackling various day-to-day challenges. It can only help with a large language model with hallucinations, but will also let the chatbot stay up to date with recent news. All of this will be possible as plugins will offer explicit access to external data, customized information based on the plugin, code-based calculations, etc. ChatGPT formulates a query from a text-based prompt from the user. Next, the plugin API processes the query and emits the result. ChatGPT later reinterprets the result for the user. While this may seem simple, experts suggest that hallucinations may creep into the response. And what are the ChatGPT plugins? OpenAI has unleashed a whole new spectrum of possibilities after it announced plugins for ChatGPT. Below is a list of select plugins that can be greatly enhanced in the quality of your life with ChatGPT. For Expedia, with Expedia plugin, users will be able to start conversation on travel with ChatGPT. The plugin can turn the bot into a travel guide that will assist users in planning their entire trip. It will offer itineraries, up-to-date information on the availability of price of flights, hotels, car rentals, and vacation rentals on the go with ChatGPT AI. In Instacart, the plugin will let users place orders from local supermarkets. The bot will be able to give you details for groceries and other household items with prices. One needs to list down their needs, and ChatGPT will take care of the rest. So you basically just make your shopping list, and ChatGPT is just going to go over to the supermarket, Instacart, and just do everything for you and check it out. It'll have your card and everything all set for you or something like that. I don't know. Kayak, as the name suggests, the plugin from the Meta search engine lets users plan their trips. Once installed, users need to simply log in and type a prompt like, where can I go this weekend for under $300? And ChatGPT with the plugin with the Kayak plugin will all function together. On fiscal note, this plugin will offer users user information on legal, political, and regulatory data from their respective industries in real time. On OpenTable, this plugin will let users book a table. So AI will you'll just say, ChatGPT, book a table through OpenTable at this restaurant, and ChatGPT will just do the rest for you, and you're all good to go. So OpenTable, the plugin will let users book a table at a nearby restaurant, and will tell you, offer, suggest from assortment of restaurants, things like that. Wolfram, the plugin will transform ChatGPT into a math wizard, as you will be able to access mathematical computational information. So that makes sense to me because it's going to improve ChatGPT's math framework to be more accurate. Code interpreter, so this is good for coding. It'll let users not only generate code, but will also interpret the results. So this is going to be more specific to ChatGPT giving correct code bases out there, past its own deep machine learning by being introduced with code interpreter. So these results will later prompt a user to use in other applications. How to try ChatGPT plugins? Unfortunately, the ChatGPT plugins are currently only available to a limited set of developers and insiders. In case you want to have access, you can join the waitlist. And also, those with subscription to ChatGPT are more likely to get priority on the waitlist. Yeah, go pay for ChatGPT, which is like GPT-4 now, I guess, or whatever, the new GPT or something, if you pay for it with advancements. But yeah, the ChatGPT plugins decoded. Why you should get on the waitlist? I mean, you can just like have your own relationship building like on a code basis as a developer in your company with ChatGPT as a tool set that's solving things with you that you no longer need to have like some big development team for. You don't really need all these engineers, and with things like plugins that engineers have built of code bases of things like this one, code interpreter, and things like the Wolfram math spectrum. I think that only is going to improve things and create more success for ChatGPT. So yeah, that's that. Let's go into another piece of tech news for the day. But that's that. Going for tech news there. Another piece of tech news for the day is how to watch 5 planets in rare celestial event tonight. How you can watch 5 planets: Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, and Mars in the night sky tonight on March 28th. It's from Science Desk, Abu Dhabi. division on India Express. We could be treated to a rare celestial spectacle with 5 planets, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, and Mars appearing in the night sky tonight, March 28th. It's not a true planetary alignment where they will appear in a straight line, but NASA scientist Bill Cook told CBS News that the planets will be visible on March 28th and that the alignment will look very pretty. How to watch the 5 planets. All with the 5 planets should technically be visible along with the waxing crescent moon in most parts of the world. You will not be able to see it unless you are in a location with an unobstructed view of the horizon. According to Rick Feinberg, senior contributor, go to like a big field or something, I guess. Senior contributing editor at Sky Telescope magazine, Venus and Mars should be easy to spot. Venus is the brightest planet in the solar system and will be high in the sky, and Mars will shine brightly next to the waxing moon. But on the other hand, Uranus, which will appear near Venus, will appear faint and will only be visible next. Wait until the sun has set and go out and look low in the bright sky, part of the sky where the sun has just set, and with binoculars, and you will see brighter Jupiter next to fainter Mercury, with Feinberg to NPR. In order to get the best view of this rare celestial event, go to a location with a little light pollution as possible and a clear horizon with no obstructions. Once there, you should be able to spot most planets apart from Jupiter, Mercury, without the use of binoculars. And is this a rare event? Well, tonight it's not everyday event. It's not truly 5-planet alignment, since the planets will not appear as if they form a single straight line. If you were looking for an actual alignment of 5 planets, that time has passed. A true 5-planet alignment happened in June last year when Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn stretched across the sky from low to the east and the higher south of the order and the distant from the sun, in their distance from the sun. Even discounting the rare coincidence coincidence where they appeared in that particular order, the planetary alignment in June was the first one in nearly 18 years, with the last time being on December 2004. Such an event is not expected to happen again until 2040, according to NPR. So make sure you catch this one tonight if you want to see some alignment, and also catch one in 2040 for a straight alignment, a true alignment. But this is a circular alignment kind of deal. So this is kind of cool. It's cool either way. That's some tech news right there. All right. Let's go into finance news, piece of news, and we're going to close out the stream for the day. Till tomorrow. So yeah, Yahoo Finance. Home prices drop for 7th straight month to start 2023. This is from Danny Romero, reporter for Yahoo Finance. U.S. home prices logged a 7th straight monthly decline in January as its rising interest rates continue to pressure home prices in the housing market overall. The S&P CoreLogic's case Schiller U.S. National Home Price Index fell 0.5% in January compared to the previous month, according to the data released on Tuesday. On a yearly basis, the index climbed 3.8% on January, down from 5.6% in the previous month. The report 20 City Composite Index, which tracks prices in the 20 largest metros, showed prices fell 0.6% over the prior month in January and rose just 2.5% over last year. All cities reported lower prices in the year ending January 2023 versus the year ending December 2022, the report said. Regionally, the cities saw the largest price gains over last year in January were in Miami, Tampa, and Atlanta, with year-over-year increase 13.8%, 10.5%, 8.4% respectively. On the other hand, once popular markets such as San Francisco, San Diego, Portland, and Seattle all saw home prices fall against the prior year, with drops of 7.6% and 1.4% and 5.1% respectively. January's market weakness was broadly based, wrote Craig Lazara, managing director at S&P DJI in the release. Before seasonal adjustments, 19 cities registered a decline. The seasonally adjusted picture is a bit brighter, with only 15 cities declining with or without seasonal adjustment. Most cities' January declines were less severe than their December counterparts. Financial news this month has been dominated by reductions in the commercial banking industry, as some institutions' risk management functions proved unequal to the rising level of interest rates, Lazar added. Despite this, the Federal Reserve remains focused on its inflation reduction targets, which suggests that rates may remain elevated in near-term mortgage financing and the prospect of economic weakness, and are therefore likely to remain a headwind for housing prices or for at least the next several months. Relationships between home prices and monetary policy. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday raised its benchmark rate 0.25% to a range of 4.75% to 5%, said an additional policy rate increase may be appropriate, which could impact future home prices. In a study published in March, researchers from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco found that home prices respond to surprise monetary policy changes in just a few weeks. Housing list prices fall within 2 weeks after the Federal Reserve announces an unexpected policy tightening, similar to responses on other financial assets. Dennis Goria, August Kometz, Oleski, these people wrote in the research letter here. Basically, the twist, though, is that the home prices reach to unexpected changes in long-term interest rates rather than the shifts in the short-term federal funds rate. This explains why changes in the mortgage rates follow the Fed's policy changes are key to rapid home price moves. When mortgage rates increase, list prices tend to decrease due to their higher total cost of owning a home, the researchers noted, and mortgage rates remain on a downswing. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate tumbled to 6.42% from 6.6% the week prior, according to the Freddie Mac. So it's declining. Basically, it's declining on the steady decline rate position for the housing market. So as home prices dropped for several straight months to start 2023. In NBC News, Senate holds its first hearing in the SVB and Signature Bank failures. Last piece of finance news. We're going to go to a piece of news, global news, and close out the sector. The Banking Committee heard from 3 key regulators Tuesday after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, resulting turbulence in the financial sector. Washington Senate Banking Committee held its first hearing Tuesday into the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, featuring the roster of important players in 2024 election who focused on how the government should respond to 2 of the largest bank failures in U.S. history. The hearing, led by Chair Sherrod Brown, D. Ohio, featured FDIC Chair Martin Gruenberg, Federal Reserve Board of Governors Vice Chair for Supervision Michael Barr, and Treasury Department Undersecretary for Domestic Finance Nellie Liang. We're left with many questions and a lot of justified anger toward bank executives and board, ventures capitalists, federal and state bank regulators, and policymakers, Brown said. Just as there are no atheists in foxholes, it appears that when there is just a bank crash, there are no libertarians in Silicon Valley, Brown said. I hope that from now on, those who have no problem with government intervention to protect their own livelihoods will think a little harder about what their warped version of free market has done to workers in Ohio. Brown also cited in 2018 rollback and enhanced Dodd-Frank scrutiny for mid-sized banks like Silicon Valley Bank, a bill that was led by Republicans backed by a faction of Democrats and signed by then-President Donald Trump. He called on regulators to assess the damage, impose accountability, and fix what is broken. Republicans on the panel put an emphasis on regulators, arguing that they had more tools to stave off SVB's collapse and questioning why they didn't act more aggressively. If you can stay on mission and enforce the laws that they already are on the books, how can you ask Congress for more authority with a straight face? Ranking member Tim Scott, RSC, said our regulators appear to have been asleep at the wheel. Senate Katie Britt R. Allah said in an interview before the hearing, the regulators failed here. There were tons of red flags, and I want answers as to why they looked the other way. I mean, sheer indicators show that they didn't do their job, so this is mismanagement on their part. The tools were there, and they weren't used. I want to know why, Britt added. And so for the SVB's collapse was followed by the failure of New York-based Signature Bank. In the weeks since, the banking sector has sought to restore confidence. A group of 11 financial institutions pledged $30 billion in deposits to help keep First Republic Bank afloat. While in Europe, UBS purchased Credit Suisse for $3.2 billion. A spotlight on regulators. Barr described the unique nature of this bank as part of the reason for its collapse and identify a series of issues that were the job of bank managers, not Federal Reserve supervisors, to resolve. SVB's failure as a textbook case of mismanagement, Barr said in his testimony, going on to cite the bank's concentrated business model in technology and venture capital, its rapid growth from 2019 to 2022, and its failure to effectively manage the interest rate risks of its securities. Barr also mentioned the bank's reliance on depositors who were connected by a framework of venture capital firms and other ties, adding that when stress began, they essentially acted together to generate a bank run, and he said regulators were investigating whether the 2018 deregulated law spurred SVB's failure. Under questioning, Barr promised to be forthcoming with Congress, and that inquiry finds that tougher laws should have saved SVB, but Senator Mike Crapo, Idaho, defended the law that led in 2018, leaving little agreement between senators and regulators as to the root cause of the failure between bank mismanagement. The The House will host its own hearing on the bank failures on Wednesday, with the same panel appearing before the Financial Services Committee. With agreement on the cause of bank failures, it's not clear whether Congress will pass a new law to prevent more of them in the future. Republicans are mostly blaming regulators, while Democrats are split between some who support legislation by Senator Elizabeth Warren Democrat of Massachusetts to restore the rules that were repealed in 2018, and others who are reluctant to go there. Senator Majority Whip Dick Durbin, Democrat of Illinois, said Monday the chambers should act to impose the enhanced scrutiny on banks, noting that he voted against rolling back those regulations in 2018. I think I was right then, he said, and I think I'm right now. So that's that. So that's over there on that. And the Senate holds its first hearing to SVB signature bank failures. Got to debate, got to discuss to, I don't know, maybe get nowhere either way, but, but other than at least get the determination of what was the determination for occurrence of theirs. I thought, is this mismanaged trading or something? I don't know. Have to look into it more. I'm sure there'll be a lot more information rolling out about it. Anyways, this is from U.S. News. We're gonna close out the stream for the day. So we got California farmers flood fields to boost groundwater basin. With water gushing through California's rivers, some farmers have started devoting a portion of their land to capture these flows and let them seep into the ground. This is from Associated Press for U.S. News. In this photo provided by California Department of Water Resources, Dom Cameron, general manager of Terra Nova Ranch, poses at recharge water stands in his fellow field of Terra Nova as part of the groundwater recharge system designed to divert floodwater from Kings River to Fresno County on March 13th, 2023. California Department of Water Resources via AP. Photographer Andrew Inararity. I don't know. A field that has long grown tomatoes, peppers, and onions now looks like a wind-whipped ocean as farmer Don Cameron seeks to capture the runoff from a freakishly yet wet year in California to replenish the groundwater basin that is his only source of water. Only source to water his crops. Taking some tomatoes out of production for a year is an easy choice if it means boosting future water supplies in his farm for about 35 miles to 26 kilometers southwest of Fresno. He's pumping 300 acre feet a day, enough to supply hundreds of thousands of households for a year. From the gushing North Fork of Kings River into former vegetable fields and others dotted with pistachio trees which can withstand heavy flooding. I just thought this ad. Yeah, you can look through these articles and watch things like that as well. I'll just keep reading. We knew long term if we did not have water, we'd be out of business. Cameron said, we're doing our part to protect the communities downstream, but we're also putting water in the ground. The 70-year-old has been spent time, a decade building and expanding the system to divert floodwaters from nearby rural communities as a pioneer in the practice of on-farm recharge of flooding agricultural lands during rainy periods to help restore the groundwater basin. He's and alone government agencies, water district officials, and nonprofits are eyeing the practice as a way to weather swings in climate, especially as California muddles through a winter that has experts forecasting the Sierra Nevada snowpack could last for months. Especially with groundwater supplies are essential to both farms and communities across the fertile Central Valley, a key source of food for the United States. That's even more the case during the drought years, when groundwater accounts for up to 60% of the state's water supply, compared with 40% in non-drought, said Wade Crowfoot, Secretary of California's Natural Resources Agency. But farmers have pumped even deeper through years of drought, depleting what's left and leaving wells dry. Hoping to reverse that trend, Valley water agencies have built basins to try to capture water in rainy years to allow it to seep back into the ground. Now, many are hoping to enlist vast tracts of farmland for a similar purpose. Groundwater recharge projects are a critical, important role for our infrastructure future, Crowfoot said. And Tulare Irrigation District, for example, has doubled the amount of water it can divert this year, thanks to farmers who are willing to take it, said Daniel Mountjoy, Director of Resource Stewardship are the nonprofit Sustainable Conservation, which supports expanding on-farm recharge. Farmlands are the thing you can expand to when you have a freak year like this, he said. They are the solution. The idea of using farmland to recharge groundwater has percolated for years after California enacted a law in 2014 requiring regional agencies to manage their aquifers as sustainability to avoid overpumping. More farmers faced with the prospect of following fields began considering it. With the potential for the flooding for flooding in towns and rural communities this season. Governor Gavin Newsom signed an order this month making it easier for farmers to divert floodwater to their fields. While some farmers like Cameron are ready to flood their fields now, many others aren't. Still, the rains are looming. Pumping limits have galvanized interest, said Wendy Rash, state water quality specialist at the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resource Conservation Service. Last year, her agency started a pilot program for 20 farmers at more than 24 in Fresno County alone. Recently, we're on the call about to join the expanding effort on this second year. If it's successful, the program will be replicated in other Western states. So, Area Groundwater Sustainability Agency, which operates in a portion of the Central Valley, has developed an on-farm recharge university to train farmers in the practice. One of them, Mark Pittman, said he always used water sparingly, but eventually did flood his orange grove, which is close to a proposed canal. I mean, it makes sense to me, kind of like utilizing this, so it's interesting. But yeah, if you don't flood it, you may not be able to water your crop next year when it's rough. Pittman said it's a 6 to 1, half dozen to another. Yeah, right. Some environmental groups support on-farm recharge, but use caution over concerns that pesticides or other contaminants could be flushed into a system that is also drinking water source. I mean, do it for or make those regulations and do it for organic farms, right? The worry is that you may cause groundwater quality problem when you try to solve groundwater supply problems, said Michael Claiborne, directing attorney of Leadership Council, a nonprofit focused on valley communities. With such concerns in mind, Newsom's recent orders make dairy lands and fields where pesticides were recently applied ineligible. Yep, there you go. Also, farmers are required to report when the state when they divert water, right? Yeah. It isn't immediately clear how farmers will be compensated, but some say that expect to receive a water credit in the future. Not all the water will come back to those who participate, but experts anticipate that they will see benefit, and so will their neighbors. Some soil conditions and crops are better suited for recharge than others. Grapes, for example, can withstand large amounts of water, especially in cold temperatures, and so can pecan trees, said Philip Bachelin, an environmental engineer who has worked with Cameron on recharge. In 2017, another wet year, Cameron tried flooding almonds, pistachios, walnuts, and wine grapes and found they could survive so long as the water remained cold. He said it's hard to track where all the water went, but he measured 40-foot, 12-meter increase in the watering table beneath his flooded vineyard. Back then, Cameron said he moved the water with such a smaller system that he has since expanded with help from $5 million state grant to significantly boost his recharge capacity. We have this location, we have the soils, Cameron said. We will have, and we have the will to do it. Right. So very interesting stuff right there on, the natural tech of farming. That's all I have for the day. Right. Oh, if you're on the YouTube side, do subscribe, turn on bell notifications right here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. And I realized I didn't have the Blockchain Tech and Finance News. So yeah, right there, Blockchain Tech and Finance, right here. Not the news. We're just reading articles. We're just chilling, discussing. So I'll be back tomorrow, and right here on Proof of Web and Blockchain Tech and Finance. Cheers, ciao. Peace be with you. Stay safe.